Hi everyone, welcome back to English Conversation Pods.
Yes, welcome. We are so happy you are here with us today.
My name is Nancy.
And I'm Charles.
This podcast is for people who are learning English. Maybe English is your second language. Maybe it is your third.
That's right. We talk slowly, we use simple words, and we talk about everyday life, just like two friends chatting.
So don't worry if you don't understand every single word. Just relax and listen to the flow of the conversation.
You can even listen to this episode more than once. Many of our listeners tell us that helps a lot.
That's a great tip. The more you listen, the more familiar the words become.
Today, we have a really fun topic. We are going to talk about why we overthink our replies to messages.
Oh, I love this topic. I do this all the time.
Me too, honestly. Let's get into it. Okay, so Nancy, let me tell you something that happened to me yesterday.
Okay, tell me.
My friend sent me a text message. It was a simple question, and I looked at my phone for like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Just looking at the phone?
Yes, I was trying to write the perfect reply. I wanted to sound funny, but also clear, but also not too long.
Oh my goodness, Charles. I do the exact same thing. It's almost funny how much time we spend on such a small message.
Right? It's just a text message. It should take 5 seconds, but somehow it takes forever.
I think a lot of people listening right now are nodding their heads. This happens to everyone, not just us.
Exactly. So today, let's talk about why this happens and how we can feel a little more relaxed about it. I think this whole phone staring thing has gotten worse since we all started using group chats too.
Oh, don't even get me started on group chats. Trying to reply to 5 people at once is a whole different kind of stress.
Right, because you're wondering if your joke will land the same way with everyone in the group.
Exactly. It's like performing a little bit, even in a casual chat with friends. I think it also happens more with people we care about. Like if a stranger messages me, I don't think twice.
That's interesting. So the more the person matters to us, the more we overthink it?
I think so. It shows we care, but sometimes we care a little too much about the small details. Okay, let's start with the first thing, second-guessing our messages.
Yes, this means we write something and then we don't feel sure about it.
For me, it goes like this. I write a message, then I read it again, then I delete a word, then I add the word back.
That is so true. Sometimes I write a whole message and then I delete the entire thing and start over.
Why do we do this? I think for me, it's because I want the other person to understand my feeling exactly.
I think that's part of it, but also I think we are a little bit afraid of saying the wrong thing.
That makes sense. Like last week, my coworker asked me a question over chat. I wrote 3 different replies before I sent one.
What was the question?
She just asked, "Are you free for a call at 3?" That's it. Very simple.
And you needed 3 tries for that?
I know, it sounds silly when I say it out loud, but in the moment, it felt very important.
This happens with texting friends, too. I once spent 5 minutes deciding if I should use 1 exclamation point or 2.
1 or 2 exclamation points, the big decisions of modern life.
Exactly. But really, I think our brain wants to protect us. It wants every message to be perfect so nobody gets upset.
Right, our brain is trying to help us, but sometimes it just makes us more stressed instead.
Very true. It's a strange little habit that so many of us share. I've also noticed I do this more at night. During the day, I just reply quickly, but at night, everything feels bigger.
That's so true. Late at night, a simple message can suddenly feel very emotional.
Maybe we're just more tired, and tired brains like to imagine problems that aren't really there.
That's probably it. I always tell myself if I'm not sure about a message, I should just wait until morning.
That's smart advice. Things almost always look simpler in the daylight.
I read somewhere that this is very common with people learning a new language, too. They rewrite sentences many times before speaking.
That makes complete sense. When you're not fully confident yet, every word feels like it carries more weight.
Okay, here's another one. Reading too much into replies.
Oh, this one is very real for me.
Tell me about it.
So imagine this. I send my friend a long message. I explain my whole day, and she replies with just, okay,
Just one word?
just one word, and suddenly my brain starts asking questions. Is she mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Is she busy?
Yes, this happens to me so much. One short reply, and suddenly I'm building a whole story in my head.
It's funny because most of the time there is no story at all. The person is just busy or walking or cooking dinner.
Exactly. I remember once my sister texted me back with just a thumbs up emoji. No words, just the emoji.
And what did you think?
I thought, oh no, is she upset with me? But later I found out she was just driving and couldn't type a full message.
See, that's a perfect example. We create a big meaning from something very small.
It's a bit funny when you think about it. We are like little detectives looking for clues in every reply.
Detectives with no real case to solve.
Exactly. I think it helps to remember most short replies are not personal. People are just living their busy lives.
That's a good reminder. Most of the time, a short reply just means a short reply, nothing more.
I also think punctuation makes it worse. Like if someone replies with just a period, it can feel so serious.
The dreaded single period. Okay with a full stop feels so different from just okay with no punctuation.
It really does. But of course, the other person probably wasn't thinking about it at all.
Most people are just typing quickly, not choosing punctuation to send a hidden message.
Exactly. We give so much meaning to things that were never meant to carry any meaning at all. And honestly, tone is very hard to read in text. A short reply can look cold even when the person is smiling while they type it.
That's such a good point. Text messages don't carry a voice or a smile or a friendly tone. Our brain has to guess, and it often guesses wrong.
Let's talk about waiting for a response now. This is a big one for me.
Oh yes, the waiting game.
So you send a message, and then you wait, and you check your phone, and you check it again.
And again 5 minutes later.
And again 2 minutes after that. It's like we can't help it.
I do this too. Sometimes I even imagine reasons why they haven't replied yet. Maybe they're mad. Maybe something's wrong.
Right, our mind goes to the worst idea first instead of the simple idea.
The simple idea is usually the true one. They're at work, they're asleep, they're eating lunch.
Life is happening on their side too. It's not always about us.
That's such a good point. I remember waiting 3 hours for a reply from a friend once, feeling nervous the whole time.
And what happened?
She replied and said, "Sorry, my phone died." That's it. No big drama, just a normal, simple reason.
See, that's usually how it goes. The waiting feels heavy, but the reason is almost always small and simple.
It helps me to just put my phone down and do something else while I wait. Go for a walk, make some tea, anything.
Yes, giving your mind something else to focus on really helps. The reply will come when it comes.
And usually, when it comes, it's nothing like the story we built in our head. Something that helps me is turning off my notifications for a little while, so I'm not tempted to keep checking.
That's a great tip. Out of sight, out of mind, at least for a little while.
It gives my brain a break from that constant checking.
I like to remind myself that a delayed reply almost never means something bad. People are just living their lives. I think this waiting feeling is also very common when you're learning English and waiting for someone to understand you or reply to you in a conversation.
That's true. A short pause in a conversation can feel very long, even if it's only 2 or 3 seconds.
But a little silence is completely normal. It doesn't mean anything went wrong. Okay, now let's talk about something more positive, speaking and texting with confidence.
Yes, I like this part. This is where we let go a little bit.
So instead of writing and rewriting again, what if we just wrote what we truly meant?
That's the idea. Just be genuine. Say what you feel in a simple and honest way.
It's the same with speaking English, actually. Many of our listeners are learning English right now.
Oh, that's such a good connection, Nancy.
Think about it. When you're learning a new language, you might feel nervous to speak. You think, what if I use the wrong word?
Yes, and then you stay quiet instead of just trying.
But really, the people listening to you just want to understand you. They are not judging every small mistake.
Exactly, like with text messages. Most people are not judging your reply. They just want to hear from you.
So, my advice is just send the message. Just speak the sentence. You can always explain more after.
I love that. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being willing to try, even if it's not perfect.
That's beautifully said, Charles. A simple, honest reply is always better than a perfect reply that never gets sent.
And a simple, honest sentence in English is always better than staying silent because you're afraid of a mistake.
So today, let's all try to be a little braver in our messages and in our English conversations too.
Every time you speak up, even with small mistakes, you're getting stronger. That's how confidence is built, little by little.
I really believe that. Confidence doesn't arrive first and then you speak. You speak first, and the confidence grows after.
I think this also applies to making small mistakes in English conversations. A small grammar mistake won't ruin a conversation.
Not at all. People are usually just happy that you're making the effort to speak with them.
And the more you practice speaking without overthinking, the easier it becomes over time.
Okay, let's bring today's chat together. So today we talked about second-guessing our messages, reading too much into short replies, and the stress of waiting for a response.
And we ended with something warmer, the idea of speaking and texting with confidence.
I think the biggest lesson here is it's okay to relax a little. Not every message needs to be perfect.
That's true for texting friends, and it's true for practicing your English too.
So next time you're waiting for a reply or trying to write the perfect sentence, take a breath. You're doing just fine.
You really are, and that's a lovely thought to carry with you through your day.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe to English Conversation Pods.
It really helps us, and it means you'll never miss a new episode.
We hope you feel a little more relaxed and a little more confident after today's chat.
We had a wonderful time talking with you today.
We hope to see you in the next episode, coming out very soon.
Take care and happy practicing. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.